Well, hello once again, everybody, my fellow Star Trek fans. I welcome you to another Star Trek related video. We got a little goodie today. Recently I showed you guys, let me show you actually the last one, was the Gold Enterprise from Eaglemoss I had shown you guys. And that was quite the beauty. I've shown you the Diamond Select Gold Enterprise. I've shown you a couple of the Diamond Select Gold Enterprises, as well as the Playmates Gold Enterprise D. Well, today we're going to go to Star Trek The Next Generation, and we're going to take a look at the Eaglemoss Enterprise, U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D Gold Edition. This is plated in 18-karat gold, and this is the XL. I'd like to give another shout out to my friend, the Scottish Trekkie, over at his channel, because he really made me decide to get this. He had done a review on the regular Enterprise, just like that one, as well as the Enterprise D. They weren't the XLs, but they were still beautiful. I ended up getting a deal on these because I was going to get the regular size ones, and I ended up getting these on sale. So I saved maybe about $40 on each one. So I'm excited to get this. You can see the front of the box. You got that beautiful gold Enterprise D inner stand. You can see the box art. You got the Enterprise A and the Enterprise. Looks like the E down there. And over to the side of the box we have the C. We've got the D, and it looks like we got the Voyager, the Klingon D7 or the Katinga class. And it looks like the Enterprise NX-01 on the bottom. The front of the box, the side of the box, you can see the official Starships Collection Gold U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D. That beautiful photo. The ends of the box, you can see this end of the box has the ships, like I was showing you. And the other end of the box has that beautiful picture again. And I think both sides of the box are the same. Yep. Both sides of the box are the same. So looking at the back, you can see some of the information, StarTrek.com. You can see the barcode SSS UK602B. And you can see some of the information in the fine print. If you want, you can pause and check that out. So, why don't we take it over to the desk and we'll unbox her, because we'll have better light so I can show you the book and the Enterprise herself. All right. Please excuse my gloves. I had to steal my wife's gloves for this. I can't find the black ones that I had worn for last time. But let's go ahead and we could open her up. You can see there's a tape that's sealing the box. So why don't we go ahead and open it up. Nice. Check that out. And like the last time, you can see we've got the Enterprise D on the inside, and we got the Enterprise E, and we've got the book. This is the Starship, official Starship collection, Eaglemoss, U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D, limited edition. Of course, this is in 18-karat gold. You can see the contents. It shows you how to put the ship on the base. Profile, designing the Enterprise D. You can see a very beautiful shot. The display model, Enterprise D. It says location conference room. That's very nice. U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D. The Enterprise's conference room had a display of gold models showing previous ships to bear the name. You guys remember that? And this is Lily Sloan forced Picard to confront his anger towards the Borg. He lashed out, smashing the display case and the model of his former ship. You see the Enterprise D herself. Designing the Enterprise D, when the Star Trek returned to TV screens, Gene Roddenberry wanted a new ship to be sleeker and more advanced. Well, the Galaxy-class U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D certainly is more advanced, larger, more powerful in every way. The Enterprise D, originally named the Enterprise 7, was designed by Andrew Probert in late 1986. Let's see. For the briefest of moments, it was going to be the USS Enterprise NCC-1701-7. When Gene Roddenberry first agreed to make a new Star Trek series, he assembled a small team of trusted advisors, including Bob Justman and David Gerrold. In October of 1986, they started to meet regularly and to generate memos about what the new show would be like. In those early meetings, it was established that Roddenberry didn't want to simply remake the original Star Trek. So this show would be set roughly 100 years after Captain Kirk, and that is, would allow the technology to have moved on. As a result, the new Enterprise would be 6 generations more advanced. You can see how gorgeous she is. She's actually my second favorite ship, second to the Enterprise NCC-1701. You can see some of the sketch designs. Star Trek is a wagon train to the stars, but in the show, the pioneers in the wagon had included women and children. The original Enterprise had been more like a battleship in space. This sketch up here, Probert produced this drawing shortly after he finished work on Star Trek the Motion Picture. He was happy with the work he'd done redesigning the ship, but couldn't help wondering where he would have taken the design further. I love these little tidbits and sketches. I'm building the Enterprise D right now from Eaglemoss, and the same thing. They have little tidbits on the series with photos and sketches. You can see the design of the Bussard collectors and the nacelles. The sketches date back to 1985 and already feature elements that Probert would use in the final design, including elliptical shapes and nacelles that sit low down between the two hulls. Let's see that one. Nice, we got some more sketches. While he was waiting to find out if he would be hired to work on Star Trek The Next Generation, Probert started refining his ideas for a new version of the Enterprise. By late November, he had settled in a direction that he liked. You can see the original Enterprise underneath. That looks like the refit. And we have the D. You can see the next set of sketches where they have the deflector dish and the photon torpedo launcher. And we can see on the bottom. By November of 1986, drawings are remarkably close to the finished design and were done without any input from the producers. All Probert knew at this stage was that the ship was larger and more advanced. You can see some of the concepts, really different. Although Probert had identified an approach he was happy with, Probert also considered some more radical departures. The series of sketches show very thin organic shapes that are almost abstract. Yeah, those are very, very different looking. Almost looks like a paper origami of the Enterprise. You got the size comparison of the Constitution class, Enterprise NCC-1701, as opposed to the Galaxy class, or the Galaxy class, NCC-1701-D. Perhaps that's the C. The producers had told Probert that the ship would have a separate section that went into battle, leaving the families safely behind. He imagined that this would be an auxiliary battleship that was nestled in the top of the saucer. Check that out. Kind of like a large version of the reverse captain's yacht. You can see the colorized sketch over here. Probert produced this marker, pen illustration, before he reported for work at Paramount Studios. Roddenberry told Probert to start work with the bridge, but he pinned his drawings of the Enterprise up above the desk to remind himself of the aesthetic he wanted or was going for. This is interesting. I think I had shown you this in the tidbits from Star Trek The Next Generation during the Enterprise D build from Eaglemoss, how instead of separating from the saucer pylon, it would separate midway through the saucer section. That's pretty cool. I kind of like it the way it is now, though. You can see the top. These sketches show how Probert was experimenting with the design of the battle section. He refined it to the point where it was at a D shape, and the warp nacelles formed extended serifs on the back. You can see the nacelle, the Bussard collector. More sketches of the D. Probert produced these drawings after the producers had approved the basic design. By this point, he knew they wanted the whole saucer section to separate. I think it's better that way. Plus, it's probably easier on the model and the effects than to have it split midway. But that's the final design anyway. You can see once it's separated. Ultimately, the destruction of the Enterprise D was by the Klingon ship, and they had infiltrated Geordi's visor, so they got the frequency for the shields. So the Klingon bird of prey was able to fire through the shields. Ultimately, the warp core blew, and the shock wave pushed the saucer section, and it crashed on the planet. Working out how to separate the saucer was far from easy. Probert's solution was to leave part of the saucer behind on the neck to make an attractive shape. You can see that, the shape, the battle bridge, or what would become known as the battle bridge. You can see on the bottom, the sketch. Probert suggested taking the idea of the ship separating even further. The semicircular sections of the edge of the saucer would have been massive lifeboats. That kind of looks like a Cylon Raider, the way it's sketched out. And we got some more pictures. In February and March, Probert created these drawings to show the key areas of the ship in more detail. You can see what we were talking about, the battle bridge. Roddenberry only made two major changes to the design, lengthening the nacelles and putting the bridge on the top of the saucer. Yeah, the bridge has to be there. It's Star Trek. And the nacelles, the elongated nacelles look much better. This sketch shows the Enterprise in its separated mode. At the time, the expectation was that we would see this on a regular basis, whenever the ship encountered danger, but this approach was abandoned, and the ship only separated in extreme circumstances. Is that it? Yep, that's it. You see the lovely Enterprise D in gold. Okay, so let me put these gloves on that I'm going to stretch out and possibly destroy. But I don't want to smudge up the Enterprise, the gold. Plus, you know, it may be 18 karat gold plated, but it's still very, very thin. So even the acid from my fingers could damage it, and I don't want that. Look at how beautiful this is, guys. Absolutely stunning, like Chef Ramsay would say. Oh my goodness, she's gorgeous. Look at her. Oh, beautiful. And she feels like this, the saucer section, or the primary hull, is metal. And I think the rest of the ship is plastic. You see the underneath of the secondary hull. You can see all the escape pods. You've got the phaser arrays on either side beneath the nacelle pylons. Of course, you've got the rear of the ship. You've got the sensors, you've got the windows, and you've got the phaser array way on the bottom. You can see the saucer pylon where the ship would separate. And we've got the captain's yacht right there. And you can see all the escape pods. Now, I recently did the fiber optic Enterprise D from AMT, that classic model kit. And I had decided to paint all of the escape pods. And it just seemed like there were 3 trillion of them. So that took a lot of time. But ultimately is worth it because I thought it made a nice, it popped them out. It was nice to stick them out. There were more on the bottom, but there was still a lot on the ship all the way around. You can see the beautiful top of the primary hull. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. The impulse engines. Beneath this section is where the battle bridge is on the secondary hull, just on top of the saucer pylon. You can see the rear phasers, and we have 2 of the vents, and we have more of the windows. You can see the rear impulse engines, and where the photon torpedo launcher is. And we have Shuttle Bay 1, that's on the primary hull. And we have Shuttle Bay 2 and Shuttle Bay 3, that's on the secondary hull. And you can see the impulse engines. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. The tops of the nacelles. And because the primary hull is metal and the secondary hull is plastic, it feels really top heavy. It would have been nice for the price if all of it would have been metal. Both ships, this one and the Enterprise 01. But I still think she's absolutely gorgeous. So what do we have to put her on? We can see the stand. And we got tape on here, so let's got that nice kind of half dome base. And let's see, U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D Special 2020 CBS Studios, and this is 0388-A/A. Beautiful. All right, so to show you how to assemble the base, it's very simple. And just like that, it clicks into place. So let's put this over here, and we take the model, and what we do is we slide her in. Okay, so what you do is, you can see it's got a couple of pieces that stick out. So when you put it onto the ship, you slide that along the secondary hull, just like that, and then it kind of grips in just like that. So let's put it onto the base, because it is top heavy, and it sits just like that. So let's bring you down off the tripod, and I'm going to show you her up close. Look at that, huh? Beautiful. All right, let's take the gloves off. All right, let's give you a look at her close up. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's see all the windows. Let's turn her around. Show you guys the port, the cell, the port side, the secondary hull. Mr. Probert, you hit a home run with this design. We absolutely love it. Show you the back. And the fact that she's an 18 karat gold is just amazing. She's just beautiful. Let's show you the starboard side. Look at that, huh? Beautiful. The flagship of the Federation, U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D, Gold Edition. Let's show her coming head on. Make sure you able to drink all of her in to get all of her beauty. And that, my friends, is the Eaglemoss U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D Limited Gold Plated Edition. This is the XL. And I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed showing her to you. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous ship. So my friends, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in another Trek video very soon.